We're here with head cross country coach Michael Dunn. Coach Dunn, both the men and women kind of finished in the middle of the pack last year. Who are some returners you guys are looking for this year that you think can help you take that next big step?
Yeah, I think we've got our whole group back basically, and we're very much excited about what both men's and women's programs can do this year. On the men's side, Jake and Anderson coming off of an all-conference year last year. Definitely looking forward to seeing what kind of movement he can do. I know that he has been putting some hard work in, obviously all through spring last year during track, but also through the summer. So it'll be fun to see what he can do. Beyond him, we have a pretty cool 2 through 7 core on our men's team that we're looking at. Titus is coming in as a freshman this year, and I think he wants to shake things up for our group, and he'll be pushing Trace, who's done a lot of work this summer, which is completely different than the year before for him. So Trace is going to have some fun there. Nathan put some work in this summer, and so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Josiah coming back. He's definitely made some good moves last year. Carter Jack, if we can keep him healthy. And then Alvin is another one who, took him a little bit of time just to kind of get accustomed to things in the U.S. from food to classes as any college student has to deal with. And so I think that group from 2 to 7 for our guys this year is going to be very fun to see what they can do and should do a really good job helping us move forward. On our women's side, Kayla Tobin, returning conference champ, back here. This is really her second year of cross country. So we're looking forward to see what she can do this year. She's got a lot of goals in mind for herself beyond even conference this year. And so we just want to see her take steps forward. We've seen some great training from her already this year. And then 2 through 5 on our women's side will be pretty sound, I think, for most of the year. Jordan Merwin back has put a lot of work in over the summer as well. Looks really good first couple weeks of practice here. And then 3 through 5, we got Sienna Hoppy back. She's our lone senior with that women's group. And then Chloe and Rachel are going to really be the cogs of this group if that women's team wants to take a step forward from third place last year. Chloe and Rachel will need to start working together this year to really give us a chance to really maybe push for two or first, second or first this year. So we're excited with what we've got coming back and what they can do.
Yeah, you guys will kick it off this weekend. And then next weekend you head over to St. Olaf. What are some things you're looking for out of maybe those, you talk about how you kind of know what to expect out of the top people, but what are some things you look for as growth things for that maybe 2 to 7 group for both sides?
This weekend is a 5K for women and a 6K for men. Normally they'll be racing 6Ks for women and 8Ks for men. So this is kind of almost a tune-up. Every team that's out there wants to have a first race that's not going to be, hey, I'm going from high school running a 3.1 mile race to college for women running a 4 mile or for men running a 5 mile race. So this weekend is a good opportunity for them to kind of have fun, let loose a little bit, ease into those 6K and 8K distances, and then kind of put some of the work that we've been doing to play a little bit, more practicing through this first meet than anything. The second meet at St. Olaf, which is 2 weeks after this weekend, that's going to be that's the first 6K, first 8K for these guys. And so it's going to be an opportunity to kind of, okay, what have we been doing the first month of training? Where do we stand with a lot of the schools that are kind of in our region? Because a lot of them will be at the St. Olaf meet, as that's where regionals is this year as well. So a lot of the teams from our region will come to that meet to kind of check it out. And I think realistically within that first month, we're getting a lot of these kids kind of into game mode before, in cross country being the unique sport it is. When we get to conference, that's when we want to be hitting home with our workouts.
Yeah. So as we move along throughout the season, cross country, you run by yourself. It's an individual sport, but you have goals as a team. What are some goals you guys have as a team, and kind of where do you envision yourself come October?
Absolutely. I think our women's side, as a team, I think we know that, again, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we need our 5 to be pushing hard on our women's side. We need Chloe and Rachel to really work together for this team to, I think, get the most out of it that it can. If they do that, I don't think there is a limit to what this women's team can do this year. I think they can be very successful. Now, for that to happen, right, things need to click, and there needs to be kind of uniformity for how they're working together as the season progresses. And if it doesn't work out, if they can't train together well, and if they're just not vibing, our women's team could drop to fourth. So I think fourth and above is for sure where our women should finish this year. But there's no doubt in my mind that this women's team is special and can do something that no women's team has done before here. On our men's side, we've got a little bit more depth, but also a little less experience than our women's team. So, last year with our guys finishing fifth, the group has more depth this year to do better than that, for sure. Where they can go, that's ultimately going to depend on, how much Titus develops through the season. If Trace can keep his form, if Carter can stay healthy, if Alvin and Josiah can really push that bubble, and if Nathan can also push that bubble and kind of keep his fitness through the season. And if those things happen, then I think it's realistic for our men's team to have one of the better years that they've ever had as well. So, it's touch and go a little bit. I think it's unique because there's not, in cross country, there's so few meets that you really compete in because you're grinding out there for a 5-mile race, and you don't want to be doing that every single day or every single week, for meets. And so it's going to be a fun experience this year. For women, we have Sienna Hoppy as our only senior, and for men, Jake and Anderson's our only senior. So it's still a pretty young group, but there's, like I said, more experience on the women's side, and it'll be fun to see them all develop this year.